Parallel Mothers, out in theaters, written and directed by Pedro Almodovar, starring Penelope Cruz and Milena Smith. Was nominated for 2 Oscars already, Best Actress for Cruz and Best Original Score. Critics seemed to have mostly loved the film, and the trailer looked wonderfully interesting without actually spoiling any of the plot details, which is something I generally like. So I was quite excited for it, and I have to say I ended up being fairly disappointed, if I'm being honest. On the one hand, the film has all the elements that I enjoy about Almodovar's films. Heavy reliance on the performances, focus on people and the relationships between them, as well as the characteristic visual style that uses a lot of pastel colors, even in small doses, like background elements and clothes and small elements of the scenery, but they're always visible. But my main problem this time around, I think, has to do with the plot, which I will try to talk about in a roundabout sort of way so as not to spoil anything. So just the basic setup is that 2 ladies, Penelope Cruz and Milena Smith, meet at a maternity ward at a hospital, as they are both in the final stages of their pregnancies. Both are gearing up to become single mothers, both enjoy each other's company and promise to stay in touch, but then after giving birth they actually go their separate ways. However, their paths will cross again because of the plot. Now, as I was watching the film unfold, I thought to myself kind of jokingly, what if they did this one particular thing? And then I thought, well, they surely won't, because that would be like the most cliche, basic, predictable plot point, right? And then that thing does actually happen. So for a large part of the film, I was kind of confused by the film in a weird way, because it wasn't confusion caused by something unexpected happening, but rather something so expected that it felt odd to actually see it unfold. And as a result, I found it difficult to connect with the film on an emotional level. I just sort of watched it half-heartedly, never really getting into it. Well, maybe with one exception. There is this scene set to the tune of Janis Joplin's Summertime, which is just brilliant. And at that moment I felt, okay, I think things are falling into place finally, and I'm starting to enjoy this. But then that feeling passed, and the movie never really recaptured it. Now, it's entirely possible that I'm just not the target audience, that the movie will speak more to women, to ladies, and especially to mothers, because it is very feminine and very focused on motherhood. So, maybe it's just me, but for me personally, it just fell a little flat. And also, there is a subplot about Penelope Cruz's character wanting to exhumate the mass grave where her grandfather or great-grandfather lies, and I have no idea how that was meant to fit with the rest of the film. What is its role thematically and why it's even there, especially as it becomes the sort of main plot in the final act. Everything else is resolved by that point, and suddenly we spend another 25 minutes on something that feels like it's from a different movie. Plus, the final shot of the film just completely flew over my head. I mean, it's probably meant to be symbolic, but of what? I have no idea. I like the music, I like the performance by Penelope Cruz, which I think is brilliant and deserves the nomination, but for me personally, this was just simply not enough in this case. I didn't buy into the central idea of the film, I completely didn't understand the secondary plot significance, and I found the whole thing rather average.